Hello everyone, this is Greg from Mystery Honey. I'm sorry if I'm looking a bit gross than usual. Looking out of sleep, I'm running on 4 hours sleep. The baby is currently teething, so I'm absolutely shattered. So I'm going to try and pump myself up to be a bit more energetic. Right, okay. Today I'm hopefully just going to be doing some normal inspections. As always, bees always find some way of throwing spanners in the works. But I'm not going to be going through any of my nukes because I've seen that all of my virgin queens have emerged, so there's nothing else I can do with them for another week or so. They should be going out, hopefully, if it warms up at all, and getting mated. It's 15 degrees C. It's the middle of July, and it's 15 degrees C, and it's overcast. All yesterday it was raining. I cannot understand the weather in the UK at the moment. I don't think I've actually had one of these videos start and me go, wow, it's so warm today. It's like just been a constant like 15 to 17 degrees C, drizzly, crap bloody weather. I can't understand it. I'm talking to a bee farmer yesterday. He was saying it's probably one of the worst harvests that he's probably going to get. This weather is just dreadful. It's killing us. And I was talking to another farmer, like an actual farmer, not a bee farmer, and he said that the fields are just so wet at the moment. They're ready to harvest some of the crop, and he's worried that it's all going to go over. And it's just this weather. It's so bad, so bad at the moment. Anyway, I've got some new gloves, so I'm going to be testing these out. So the manufacturer that I usually get my gloves from, for some reason is sold out of medium gloves, so I'm going to be going with these instead. They're virtually the same stuff from what I can tell. So I'm going to be trying these guys out, see what it's like. It's a good start when you can't get into the bloody cardboard box. Okay, there we are. So they're a bit lighter blue than usual. I think I deal with green usually, but we'll see what these are like. They seem quite thin actually. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, they don't have any crinkles or anything like that, any creases. Yeah, they seem fine. We'll give it a go, see what they're like. And yeah, the cuff's not particularly big, so usually the gloves that I get, cuffs are usually a bit longer. It's a good way of overlapping the sleeve of your bee suit, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to go get my suit on and we're going to get cracking. Bye. So I'm actually starting off this week's inspections with the stingy hive, the angry one. I had someone ask me the other day why I still haven't replaced her. It's because I've got queens out mating, and if I wanted to, I could swap her out with one of those queens if I could find one, stuff like that. But right now, I just want these queens going out to get mated and happy, and then when I know where I'm at with that, I'll then possibly swap her out then. Plus, I don't know, I'm kind of fond of her. Strangely, it's like having a cat that attacks you all the time. I don't know why. I'm kind of fond of this hive, even though it's really angry. It's the masochist in me, I guess. Right, bees. So I need to get a new roof for these guys, just because this homemade one that I've got, you can see that? It's all soggy in there and just it's dreadful. It was the first roof I built, really, or one of them, so yeah. So this top super is empty. Don't look like there's any bees in it. Looks like maybe they started coming up here and cleaning it out because the frames are being chewed to bits, as you can see. And it's warm up here, so it means that they have actually dried out the frames, because I don't know if you remember, but the frames were like pitch black around the edges just because it was so wet. And they're just cleaning it up. They're just taking their time. They're not in a rush. This colony has seen probably the biggest drop of bees just because I've used the majority of the young bees from this colony to fill up the majority of my nukes. So these guys are a lot smaller than they were before. So they're probably just taking it a bit easier. Oh, that's the honey super. Don't know if you can see that. So this honey super is absolutely jam-packed with bees. Don't know if you can see that. I can feel the heat coming out from this. So right now, outside, temperature is about 15 degrees C. It feels about 30 degrees C coming from there. It's like a warm bath emanating out. It's like there's a radiator going on. If I was ever to make a cabin in the woods and I wanted some cheap radiators, I'd set some beehives up in the floor. So the bees aren't too happy with me checking these frames out, but I'm just going to have a quick look because I can't help myself. Yeah, so these are absolutely jam-packed with honey. Now I've got some drones being freed here. So drones lack the mouth parts to free themselves, so they have to wait until a worker bee frees them. And there's one there trying to get out. He's just cleaning himself up before he leaves. But you can see some others here that are trying to get out. Still a little antenna there poking out going, "Don't forget about me." But yeah, so some of these drones are being released. That's cool. Just have a quick look at them, see if I can see any varroa. There shouldn't be any varroa on them because these guys were in the cells when the Formic Pro was on. So this colony should be pretty free from varroa. Right, what I want to do is I want to take this off. So we had an issue in this box down here. So, oh, that's heavy. Jesus wept. Oh. So this box here had a load of queen cells in. It shouldn't have queen cells in now because there wasn't any larvae in here at the time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to the bottom box, inspect them, then come to these boxes. So the bottom box just had larvae in it and eggs from the queen. There wasn't that. I think there was a little bit of capped brood, but there wasn't a lot. This week, this should be absolutely jam-packed with brood from the queen, and this should have reduced amounts of capped brood, and they should have started filling up where the capped brood up with honey. So anyway, let's take these off. Let's have a look at what's going on inside this hive. Ugh. Don't think I particularly need to inspect these guys because I've reduced the numbers of bees inside here by so much. So let's knock these down. So the bees don't like when you take the honey supers off because that's all the winter stores. That you've just taken away from them, and they think that you're nicking it. Because let's face it, at some point during the year, I do nick a few supers. They're filling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seams. And this is where the intense heat is coming from. So this is where a lot of heat is coming from here. So my guess is this is the brood area right here. It's empty back here, so I'm just going to pull this out gently. There are bees on it. They're drawing out foundation, so they've got some fresh foundation being drawn out there. Other than that, on that side as well, that side's freshly been drawn out. Shake this off. So because it's particularly cold today, 15 degrees C, the bees are particularly sticky. They stick to the frames and are unwilling to be moved because their job is to stick to the comb and any larvae on there to keep it warm. This is a frame foundation. They're warming up the wax, getting it prepped for producing comb, and they've already started producing a bit of comb on this stuff. As you can see, they're already investigating my hand. I'm just going to check my hood, make sure I zipped it up. Yeah, because they are starting to come to my head. Okay, so gently, gently. Let's hopefully go without any stings today. So I still can't find my bloody torch. I've ordered a new one. I can't find my torch anywhere, so with it being a particularly dark day, it's going to make it even more difficult. Yay. So, something I just saw then, I wonder if they're still there. So, you get something called ghost bees. So, ghost bees, can you see that bee with the little white stripe there? Yeah. No one there, just going on through the other side. So that is what we call a ghost bee. These generally, there's another one up there somewhere. These only usually appear in autumn. The reason that they appear is because they go to Himalayan balsam. As they go into the flower, it paints a big white stripe of pollen on the back. So they come out and they've got this cool, funky hairstyle. But we only usually see them in autumn because that's when Himalayan balsam starts to flower. Now, it's July. We shouldn't be seeing that at all right now. So that kind of shows you how crap our weather is at the moment, that plants are thinking that it's autumn. So this is a fresh frame of foundation that they've drawn out. I'm just seeing if there's any eggs. That's what we want to look for. Not reached any brood yet. So always remember the 3 things that you look for in any inspection: brood, food, and space. I did it slowly that time. I usually just say it very quickly. So this is absolutely jam-packed with eggs. There's eggs all over this frame. So that means that the queen's been on this one recently, because all the eggs are vertical rather than horizontal. So it could be that the queen is on this frame. Might be able to mark her again. Because I think the bees have licked off the mark that was on it before. No, but anyway, I found eggs. Got loads of decent eggs. Means the queen's still here. It's fine. So as long as you find eggs, you don't have to find the queen. Because eggs means that the queen's been here the past 2 to 3 days. And generally that means that she's still about, unless the swarm has only just gone. Here we have a frame of brood. Sorry, I've just got a bee on the cuff. Just need to gently pull it out. Okay, so I don't know if you can see what. So we've got some drone brood here. So this is capped frames of brood, actually. So this is the first time I've seen capped frames since I've removed all of the nukes worth of bees. So the queen's created some drones in the middle here, and she's created some worker brood here. All of this is laid up. She's done a really good job. She's a really good queen in that sense. She makes really good brood. But yeah, so it's looking nice and healthy. It's looking really good. No holes in any of the cells cappings. So that means that there's a reduced chance of varroa problems. So maybe the Formic Pro actually did its job. We'll see. And on this side is the same. We've got some drone in the middle. So if you want bees to move, just place the hive tool on top, and don't squash them or anything. Just sort of, just little wafts, battle them slightly, and then move out of the way. All you're doing is brushing the back, and they don't like it. They run out of the way. So you've got some drone brood here, and caps here. Now, we did have some queen cells last week, but that was because the brood was separated from the queen. I'm just seeing if there are any queen cells along the edges. I don't particularly want to shake them because then it'll fill the with angry bees. And this hive is particularly stingy. So I'm not seeing any queen cells yet. Every single one of these cells is filled with an egg, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is the brood area here now. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 probably frames of brood, which is pretty cool, considering the reduced number of bees in this colony for now. So I cannot see a thing on this frame. There's just too many bees on there. They could be hiding absolutely anything. So I'm going to give it a quick look for the queen. Make sure, well, see if I can see her or not. Doesn't really matter if she's on there and I shake it. But it's always better to not shake the queen, just in case you cause some damage. I'm just going to shake it gently. Probably won't get rid of all the bees, but it'll get rid of most of them. And I get to have a look. So this is a bit of an older frame. They've chewed away some holes here, so it's fine. Got some queen cups here. I'll check them properly now. Not seeing any queen cells. All of these cells are filled with eggs, and those were queen cups. They weren't queen cells. Difference between queen cells and queen cups. The cups have no eggs in them. Cells do. Again, the bees are covering the majority of this frame. Oh, I've just seen the queen. There she is. She's right here. By the way, there's the queen right there. She's a beast. So I'm going to try to catch her so I can mark her. So keep your eyes on her, Greg. Keep your eyes on her. Stop her from trying to escape. Is it playing silly buggers? Come here. Right. Come here. So I know plenty of beekeepers would just pick her up by her wings. But I've done that too many times and hurt the queen accidentally, so I don't want to play that game again. But we found the queen. Now, if I wanted to, I could dispose of her and I could replace her with one of the new queens right now, but I don't really want to do that. As I said, I've kind of grown fond of this queen. I quite like her. She's producing quite a lot of decent brood. Yes, the bees are a bit tetchy, but I don't mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and immobilise her and mark her. If you look at the side there, it sort of raises up that way. So the best way to do it really is to get her to go that way and then try to wait until she lines herself up and then push down very gently. Now, if I wanted to, I could push this as hard as I wanted to, because this foam is so soft, it just cushions her and stops her from being able to move. But as you can see, I don't do that. I just do it so it's just enough for her to stop moving. Like that. There she is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully have my red pen, but I don't. All I have now is a green pen, so what I'm going to do, because she's an older queen, I'm going to do silver instead, because I always have my silver pen on me. So do a few dots on your glove, like that. Make sure there's no big blobs. And then we're going to just paint a little circle on her back, like this. Now, the problem with silver ink, or these silver ink pens that I'm using, so I use these Edding 751 pens. They're really good when they're colours, but the silver ones, when they dry, they can flake and powder off, so it's not the best pen to use, but it's different to this year's colour, so it means that this queen has been marked as older or different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave her to the side safely so she can mill about and that patch on her back can dry. So just stick her there for now, out of the way. She's milling about. She's happy as Larry. But that means I can also shake these frames now without worry. You can see how big she is. So This colony is doing so well just because she's such a good queen when it comes to laying up. The brood is healthy, strong, aggressive, which is a bit annoying, but they are good collectors of honey. So, I didn't get stung when I was trying. Bugger off. Remember, if you're getting hounded, smoke yourself. Don't smoke the bees. You can smoke the hive, but they're not the problem. The ones that are airborne battering you, they're the problem for you. They're the ones that are going to sting you. So smoke yourself, because then you don't smell of what they want to sting. Just the pheromones that one of them will release. You smell the smoke instead. Right, I'm going to put the hive tool. So I haven't been stung yet. I'm waiting for it. Especially because of the way that they're acting towards me. If they're getting a bit more irate. I need to do it because they had queen cells last week. I just want to make sure. So this has been drawn out and they've already got eggs in this frame. So that's impressive. As the queen is getting sick of waiting for more cells to open up. No eggs. No, so this is a frame of pollen. And this will probably be either nectar or nothing. Yeah, got nectar and a bit of honey. Oh, and a good bit of pollen. So, for those who don't know, this is what a pollen frame looks like. It's a pretty decent one. So you can see all the different brown colours there. That's different pollens. So what they do is they fly in with the pollen in the baskets. Oh. Hello. I've just found a queen cell. Oh, it's been torn down from the side. That's nothing to worry about. So, I showed you this last week, but if you see a queen cell and it has a hole in the bottom, that means the queen has emerged. If you find a queen cell and it's got a hole in the side, it means that the bees have torn it down. So don't have to worry about that. So they were making a queen cell. Obviously it got to the stage it got capped. They realised that they wanted to keep the original queen, which is in there, so they've torn it down. So I don't have to worry. But yeah, so this is a pollen frame. It's got some purples in there, as well as oranges and reds. But yeah, the bees use this predominantly to feed their young larvae. Out of the way. Some drones are getting in the way. Go away. Go on, budge. Right. Right, okay. So, I think the queen's dried off now. So, I'll fix up the brood area again. Like so. Put this frame in. The bees go back to work. And then I'm going to release the queen. So there she is on my hand. See her? I'm going to tempt fate and come closer to you so you can see her. So as you can... Ooh. Where has she gone? So I just dropped her, but she's okay, she's fine. Fortunately, mated queens, they can't fly away, so you can pick them up again, like I just have for the second time. But I'm not going to tempt fate anymore. I'm going to put her back in. That could have ended poorly. Oh dear. Right. So, what have we learned today? We've learned that yes, you can get good pictures of queens close up, but they can fall over. Unfortunately, the floor here is plywood that my dad put on rather than the grass. Because if she'd have fallen at the other apiary where there's lots of grass on the floor, there was no way I would have been able to find her. Wow, that was really fortunate then. Twice she fell and twice I found her. Oh. Do not expect that to happen on your end. Because that's the first time that's this happened so well for me. Oh god, that could have ended really poorly. Right, let's get this on quick before I have any more bright ideas. So we're going to look for some queen cells in here. As the only queen cell I found down in the bottom box was torn down, my guess is that there won't be any queen cells up here, but it is separated from the queen, so we don't know. Let's check. Oh, they're not happy. Bugger. That's just nectar. Speed up a bit. So a way to make things a bit faster is just to break the frames apart before you start moving them. Just break that seal. Then all you need to do is just lift them up. Now the bees are getting a bit irate with me. Probably telling me off for dropping the coin a couple of times. Which is understandable. If someone came into your house, picked up your mum and dropped her on the floor a few times, I think you'd have a few words to say. So yeah. Very interesting thing. Just seen something. Never seen this before. Don't think there's anything dangerous, but I guess we'll show you. Never seen that inside my hive before. I don't know what that is. It's like a larvae or something. Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? No idea what that is. Didn't look like it was bothering the bees at all, so not too worried. Right, keep looking. So this is a brood frame. Shake this off. Check it for queen cells. Looks like they've tried making some again, but didn't have the larvae to do it. Just made some queen cups. That looks alright. Got some bees emerging from this frame. And they're already filling up the cells that the bees have emerged from with nectar, so that's good. Nothing there. There's a little bit of brood capped, but yeah, so they're just filling this with nectar. I think this queen is pretty settled now. I don't think that she's going to want to swarm anytime soon. They've got lots of space in the brood box downstairs. She's filling up 4 frames with brood, and the bees are bringing up all of the nectar up here. This didn't have any brood in last time, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to put the supers on and close this up, just because I think I'm done here. I'll leave this on top to give them a hobby. Well, it's so miserable at the moment. I very much doubt that they'll fill this super with honey. Just with the weather being the way it is, I'll be really surprised if they do. So we'll just let them clean it up. And then once I finish cleaning it up, I'll put it in storage. Right, next. So I'm going to be looking at these nukes here, just because these have the oldest virgin queens in them. I'm waiting for this one to start laying so I can give it to the owner, Paul, lovely man. Saw him in the coop the other day. Hello, Paul, how are you? And this is a queen right nuke anyway. This is where all the queens came from, really. It was her brood and bees that raised all the other queens. So I gave her a new box and she hadn't entered it last time. There's 1, 2, 3 seams, maybe 4 seams, I'm not sure. of bees in here, so it means that she has expanded upwards. We'll see what they're doing with it. Sometimes they just clean it up. No, they're using it for nectar. They are cleaning it up, as you can see. I hope you can see. They've taken it down to foundation and they're starting to put fresh comb there. But they seem to be happy with some of the comb because they've started storing nectar in it already, so that's good. This queen was really lovely. Her bees are really nice as well. There's lots of larvae and eggs in this frame. So mostly larvae here, and there's eggs around the outside. So she's moved up. She's started laying up here. I think I'm going to promote this queen to a hive somewhere in this apiary at some point soon. Maybe she'll take that spot, actually. That'll be a good one. Yeah, so this is full of eggs and larvae as well. And fresh comb, so you can see the difference between the comb here where it's dark and light comb here where they've had to redo it. But they've done a really good job of cleaning it up, so much so that the queen is laid in it. There's larvae in there, there's loads of stuff. She's doing a great job, this queen. Lovely queen, and we've got some foundation here, so the bees will get onto that if they find a nectar flow or if it warms up enough. I don't think I've got anything to worry about with this colony. They've got several frames to worry about, and looking down, they're actually not using the full space in the bottom box now. They've moved up rather than across, so yeah, I think they've got space. The queen is a year old, so I won't be surprised if she just stays at this size. But she's good. She's a nice queen. The bees are nice. They don't try and hit me, which is always a positive. Yeah, I'm just going to keep her ticking away. As I keep saying about this apiary, I don't expect my bees here to produce honey. I don't want them to produce honey particularly. Not fussed about it. What I want them to produce is good, healthy bees and lots of brood. And that's what these colonies do for the most part. They produce a lot of brood, produce a lot of bees that I can then use to fill up my nukes, because that is what their role is in this area. They need to nurture the queens when they come out of the cells and help them on their mating flight, and that's their entire role. The queens that they produce will then go on to produce honey for me, and any that I don't use myself will be sold. But I don't sell a lot of nukes. It's not a massive part of my business, mostly because there's not a huge amount of demand for it, really. A lot of people go to big businesses to buy nucleus colonies. I tried using my phone torch the other day, and it's just not direct enough. You need to have those bright LEDs to get down into the cells. Otherwise, the light just gets scattered, and everything else lights up apart from the bottom of the cell. Still not seeing any brood. Now, last week I think it rained 4 out of the 5 days, so I won't be surprised if when the queen does start to lay, she becomes a drone layer because she didn't get out to get mated enough. But we'll see. I can't see her, but if she's a virgin queen, it's very hard to see anyway. They're doing a good job of filling up the frames with nectar, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. What you can do, or what I will do if she does become a drone layer, is I will remove her and I'll combine the colony with another one, because that'll bolster another nuke, and get it ready for sale faster, or ready for moving over to a hive faster. And it means that it'll free up a nucleus box as well, so if I want to do more queen rearing, I can do. So she's not come back yet. Hopefully there will be a laying queen in this one, so I can contact Paul. So Paul originally wanted a hive with a virgin queen in it. Now, I'm not really a fan of selling virgin queens, and I think it's a bit dodgy if you do. Only because there's no guarantee that the virgin queen will, one, be accepted. A lot of people just rung virgins into a hive, but if she's several days old, or even a week old if the postage is really bad, then the bees might not accept her because she's too old and she can't mate properly. Oh, look at that, they're drawing that out. That's cool. For any eggs. Also, like, there's a 30% chance that the queen will just die on her mating flight. So if you go somewhere, if you put her in somewhere and she's accepted and she goes on flying, then she could just die. So that's not great. And then there's also the chance that she wouldn't have got mated properly. So in essence, you just throw money at the wall if you're buying a virgin queen. But people sell them off because, as you saw when I was doing my queen rearing, you can end up with a lot more queens ready to go in colonies than you've got bees to put in nucleus colonies to look after her. So people just sell them off quick. But personally, I think if you're going to give people virgin queens, you should give them away for free, really. Because the chances of them coming back and it being okay is slim. Ah, we have eggs. Only a few. No. As my eyes adjust, I can see more and more. So there's a laying queen in here. So that's good. What I am going to do, though, is wait. I'm not going to give this back to Paul yet, because I want to make sure that she's laying worker brood. Now, if she's anything like her mum, this queen should be absolutely huge. So we'll see. Might be one of these other frames. But I found eggs anyway, so she's laying anyway, so don't have to worry about the mating flight anymore. She's only laid at one frame so far, so she must have only just started. So I'm going to close this up. Seen laid eggs, so I'll tell Paul, I'll send him a text when I've finished here. Let him know that she's laying, and then tell him it'll be another few weeks before he can have her, because I do not want to give him a drone laying queen. Oh, if someone pays you money, you want to give them a good product. Right, next. So this is that Buckfast queen, the one that I got as an import. I stupidly haven't actually inspected these for a week. So put that in there just to remind me I want to take it to the other apiary. Now they've still got loads of space in here. They've got a whole frame that they're not touched. Maybe they have touched it a bit. That's got a bit of honey in it, but like you'd expect after a week or so with a mated queen in, this colony would be bursting at the seams. That's not a very good laying pattern. So that is what I call a shotgun laying pattern. So as you can see, there's loads of holes in it. And I'd like to say it's because these have all emerged, but they're not. This is relatively freshly capped. So the queen's there. Right there. With the green dot. Walking about. She's not a particularly big queen, but she's doing okay. I don't think that she's a particularly good queen. So all these frames should be absolutely full of brood. Oh, it's got full of eggs. That's okay. I don't know. I think maybe she just needs a hive to just expand into and see, but she should have expanded well past the nuke size by this point. One frame of capped brood is 3 seams worth of bees. So that means that with one full one of these, that would be like this many bees. So one full frame, both sides, would fill 3 seams of bees, right? So she's been in here at least 2 months now. So that should have been loads of these frames fully capped by that point. I should have lifted the lid off and it should have been overflowing. But as you can clearly see, it's not. And this pattern isn't great. It's just... there's bits missing everywhere. I don't know, she's just... But if you look in the cells, there's eggs in every single one. So I don't understand why some cells are just missing, even though every single cell has an egg in it. I don't understand why it's got the shotgun pattern. Because even this, so this is much better. This is a much better frame of capped brood. You can see that it's a lot more constant, but you've still got these holes in it randomly. I'm wondering if maybe some of the eggs that she's laying are like dead, or I don't know. It's weird. Because she's laying everywhere. I don't know what's going on with this queen. It's a weird one. There's no real signs of varroa or anything that could be causing issues in that state. So I don't know. This queen's she's just not doing anything. Like if she was wanting to swarm because there wasn't enough space, then I'd understand. I'd be like, yeah, okay, let's go put you in a bigger hive and let's do stuff. But there's just nothing there. There's no get up and go. Right, I'll go through these other hives very quickly and we'll go to the other apiary. This is another mated queen from last year. She's lovely. So this is a lovely queen. I stole a load of bees and a load of brood from her. But she still had a lot of flying bees coming back, so I'm a bit worried that she might throw up some swarm cells. So there's no eggs or anything like that on that, but you can see where they've kept the honey away just to make sure that there's space for the brood. So what I'm going to do is, it's because there's a queen excluder in there, so the queen can't get up here, so that's why there's no brood up here. So I'm going to go to the box below. What I might do is I might take off that queen excluder as well, just because she may need some more space. Let's lift this up. Oh. There's maybe one way worrying about that then. Right, smoke these down a bit. She's a nice queen, but the bees can be a bit tetchy when you take honey off, and it is cold. It's what, 15 degrees C at the moment. So, whereas I'm in a nice quilted suit, these bees have a tiny bit of fur around the shoulders. So. Just give them a bit of time just to get used to me. Sometimes bees dive bomb your ear. It makes you panic that they're right in your veil. So, I can see eggs. There's eggs here. I can't remember, but I think this was the frame that I showed you that I'd chopped these bits off. And it was just this, like that. So I think they've drawn this out since last time. Can't remember off the top of my head though. I'd have to go back and look in the videos. But yeah, if you look here, this is one of the reasons why I like these frames, these foundationless frames, these sticks, because they make these rectangles of comb, and then after a while they join all the rectangles together. But if you look here, this is drone brood. You can see the cell difference between worker brood, which is this stuff here, and drone brood, which is this stuff here. So they like to fill these rectangles with drone brood, which is great for me, because if I want to do sacrificial drone removal, I just get the knife and go whoosh, 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 just pull that off and I feed it to the pheasants over there. So that's pretty cool. She has started laying some larvae in there. But it's not capped yet. You only remove the drone brood when it's capped, so we'll do. Ooh, the bees don't like me at the moment. Ooh, that was trying to sting me. Go away. Don't make me get the smoker again. An issue with taking all the young bees, so all you've got left is the grouchy old ones. Ugh. So that's got a frame of capped brood. Let's have a look, see if there's any queen cells. So when you get bits in frames where there's like a random cut like that, and they've eaten away around this wire, they like to hide queen cells up here. So any gaps in the frames, like holes, just be very careful around these bits here, because that's where they like to hide queen cells. Can't see anything. Shut. So she's laying brood up to the edges here. Go on, away. And smoke yourself. If you're getting buzzed, smoke your hands, smoke your wrists. Get rid of that alarm pheromone that's on your body. Right, these were frames of foundations last time. Just see how that bee's there? They like to fly in your hand there, and then when you close your hand, they panic and sting the inside of your hand. So if you get a bee there, just open your hand up and let them walk out. Takes a little bit of time, but yeah. Oh wow, they've drawn up these frames of foundation perfectly. Look at that. Brand new comb, brand new, and it's full of larvae. And it's full of, it's got some capped brood, full of eggs as well. That's beautiful. Stunning. You can always see how beautiful fresh comb is. It's always like a lovely white yellowy colour. It's beautiful. So that's fresh frame foundation that they've drawn out and laid up. Because there's capped cells there, that means that she's laid in there 2 weeks ago. Oh. This too is a fresh frame of foundation. You can tell because it says 24 at the top lug. And yeah, this is full of eggs, capped brood, all sorts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this back together. I've seen half the hive. There's no fear of swarming from what? Ah, yeah, flipper. First sting of the day. Right in me index finger knuckle. Ouch. That hurt. Oh, so, ouchie. I forgot what I said. Oh, no fear of swarming. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take the queen excluder off the bottom of that and put it back on top so she's got more room to lay in if she wants to. I probably will be doing one more queen rearing run later on in the year. So I do want her to get a bit bigger again. So I'll have to get rid of this queen excluder. Whoop. Slippy. God, that was really stuck on there. Oof. Right. Whoop. And whoop. Right, so I've taken the queen excluder out. There's plenty of space in these frames for her to lay in. They've left this big space here for her to lay in, so yeah, I think that's fine. Leave them to it. Close this lid. On to the next one. So these are probably two of the biggest hives here. It's exceptional, that one over there. So I'm not expecting a lot from these guys because I took a lot of bees and a lot of brood from them, so I'm expecting them to be ticking along, tickety-boo. Let's take this off. So I rather go into the bottom box of these ones just because I can usually get a gist of what's going on in the top one. But it's been a while, so I fancy giving them a proper look. Oh. So they're filling the whole boxes, so that's good. Sometimes they can just fill like half the frames and then move up to the second box, but they're using all of the bottom one. That's good. Give them a bit of a smoke. Chill out. I'll have a look, see what they're doing in this box. So the way a hive is normally comprised is that you've got brood in the middle. So this has got brood right on the edge. Interesting. So, okay. And we've got a cup here. Is it a queen cup? Yeah, it's just a queen cup, it's fine. But yeah, they've got some brood here. Interesting, on the outside frame. So this second to last frame is usually ignored. When you've got a double brood area, like this one has, usually have in the middle, brood going up directly, like vertically, and then they start to expand sideways once they've done the whole height of the hive. Now they're out here with brood, so if it wasn't to go through that one, I would think that, so they've got a really big brood area to deal with that. But it could be that the queen is just in the bottom box and she's just moving across, doing her own thing. But we'll see. I'm just having a look for eggs. Yeah, there's some eggs in there as well. So we've got proof that there's a queen in here, a mated queen as well, because there's capped brood, capped worker brood. We've got some healthy looking larvae. So that's step one, brood. Looks great. Got some food here, loads of pollen around the edge of that frame there. Loads of pollen around here. And there's nectar here. So that's food sorted. And space. Looking at this box here, we've got loads of frames that aren't touched. So we've got all three sorted. Now what we want to do is just make sure that they are happy and healthy now. So we've done the three main ones. We've checked them out. We've got a yes for them. So now we just want to have a little investigation and have a nosy. So there's even more food. A really good frame of pollen there. The back of this is being ignored, so that's fine. The side walls usually do get ignored. So that's a frame of drone brood. Some capped, some not. So we have some. Have some chalk brood. There's some chalk brood in there now. That is due to the fact that it's I used to hope it's chalk brood. So while investigating that chalk brood then, I found some cells that I wasn't happy with. So I don't think it is EFB. I am 80% sure it's not EFB. But when it's things like that, you have to do a little investigation. You have to properly look into it and make sure. And what I'll be doing is I'll be taking some photos and of some of the brood I found, and I'll be sending that to the National Bee Unit here and just get a second opinion. So signs of EFB are twisted larvae, discoloured larvae, dead larvae in cells, and melted larvae as well. Now with chalk brood, you can get a mummified appearance of bees. So I'll show you what I'm on about. Hang on. So the reason that I'm a bit worried about this frame, I've just done a few toothpick tests. So if you look here, that looks like it's been melted. That larvae there looks melted in the bottom of the cell there. And then you've got some that are actually dead in the cells as well. Now, none of them are discoloured. There's no discoloration in the cells, other than the fact that they've died. So I don't think it's EFB. Plus, I've not seen any of the worker brood like that. So it could be that they have. So there's a drone brood kind of get ignored a lot of the time. If there's worker brood, drones get a bit ignored, and because worker brood is more important to the bees than drone brood. So what could have happened is bees could have moved away from the drone brood because it got particularly cold a few nights ago. Well, it's been cold quite a few nights, to be honest. They could have moved away from the drone brood. The drone brood could have got chilled and died in the cells. And what's happened is that the bees have just started to take them apart and remove the dead bodies, which is what they do. They do something called cannibalization. So they rip them apart and remove them from the hive. So that could just be that I've caught those drones in the middle of them being removed. It could be that they've died from chalk brood. I'm not sure, but I've taken photos of it all anyway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that to the NBU, and I'll let you guys know how it comes out. But if you look at the other frames that I've got, go away. So EFB usually means that there's an erratic pattern of cells. That, for the most part, yes, there's some dots, but it's no more than you'd normally see in an older queen. But the cells look healthy. They look like a good colour. The larvae that I'm looking at here, they're all white. They're all perfectly segmented. There's none of those other ones that I've just seen in the drone brood area. So the larvae here look really healthy and really good. So my thoughts, I'll keep going through and I'll keep checking, because that's what you're going to do. If you see any signs you think are disease, you've got to do is you've got to find more evidence. You've got to see if there's any more signs of it anywhere else, because you could just end up having like 1 or 2 cells of EFB, which is not good, but it's still enough to cause problems, especially for an apiary like this one. So I'm going to go through it bit by bit and just check. And then at night time tonight, I'll move this hive to my quarantine apiary, because if it has got disease, I do not want it being mixed with any of my other hives. But all of the brood here looks stunning. It looks beautiful. Lovely pearly white, completely segmented. No issues whatsoever. So I very much doubt that this is EFB. But you should always be cautious. Always, always, always be cautious. So what I'm going to do when I finish looking through this hive is I'm going to replace my gloves. I'll usually give them a quick rinse in a solution that I keep my hive tools in anyway, in between hives. But I'll just take them off completely. Swap them out completely, and I'll stick these hive tools. So again, I usually give these a quick dip between hives. But what I'll do is I'll just put them completely in and get some fresh ones out. And that should mean I'm using fresh tools, fresh gloves for this next colony. The last thing you want to do is spread disease. So looking at these other frames, I'm not seeing any disease at all. There's a bit of ball brood. So I've got one or two cells here where, I'll tell you what, I'll come over to you. Got some cells here which have holes in the cappings. Now that there is a flow on at the moment, so it's going to be very unlikely that's because they didn't have the food to be able to generate the wax. So that generally means that there's a varroa problem if you've got something like that going on. But if you look at the brood all looks healthy. It looks segmented. You can see all the segments. Don't see any dead ones or discoloured. So yeah, I think that drone frame was just ignored at some point. I'm just opening up these cappings that have holes in. Okay, so the larvae is still in this C shape. So if the larvae is still in the C shape, it means it's not old enough to have grown and stretched out to the full length. So that means that they've literally just been closing those up. So I don't think it's bald brood. I think it was that I've just stopped them in the action by doing this inspection. So that's fine. Yeah, there's no twisted looking larvae. No melted larvae. Nothing. So I don't think I've got EFB. I'll still check with the MBU, and with cases like that, or cases in the northwest where there's very few cases of EFB, because we're quite good up here. Especially in Merseyside, we kind of stick to ourselves when it comes to nucleus colonies. So it's rare for us to get EFB outbreaks here, just because we don't really move our bees around very much. But because we're in a low danger area, chances are the NBU will pop over and have a nosy. I don't know if they'll allow me to film that. I very much doubt they will. They let me take pictures last time, which is nice. So I might have to do a Facebook thing instead. But we'll see. Some lovely pollen. So we're going to the outside frames now, and there's nothing on these apart from food. A bit of brood there, actually. So the queen's using this whole space. That's pretty cool. This is going to be empty. Yeah, it's empty. Okay. Right. Push these in. Next box. Always remember to smoke yourself, not the bees, when you're getting battered. Right. Oh, this box can go on top now. Hopefully they'll chill out a bit. They're not using this box to its full extent at the moment. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seams of bees, so oops. So I don't have to worry too much about them running out of space. And they're filling this with honey. Cleaned up the frames, filling it with honey. Can't complain about that, can you? So there's brood in this one. Looks healthy. Happy. And on this side as well. That's a lovely frame of brood. Quick check for the queen before I shake it off. Look at that, it's beautiful. I don't think there's anything wrong with this hive. I think it's just a bad frame. I think that the bees have left that drone frame to go too cold at one point, and they've died, and then they've just slowly started to pull them out, and the ones that they haven't pulled out yet, they've left to rot in essence. Yeah, I'm not worried that much. I will still get into contact with the NBU, because any signs like that, you just don't want to risk it. And I'll still be cautious with this next hive when I do that. But yeah, I think they're doing great. And this is another perfect frame as well. Eggs in all the cells that are just emerged. Yeah, I'm not worried. I'll let you guys know what the NBU say, but I'm pretty sure it's nothing to be worried about. Right, let's close this up. Right, I need to go get some fresh gloves and change these tools. Back in a sec. Right, so fresh gloves, fresh hive tool. Let's go through this colony. So I have a spare bee suit in the car. I usually keep one spare just in case I do see something like this. It is good practice to change your suits between apiaries. Because that means that if there is any disease at this apiary, you're not transferring any of that to the other ones. So yeah, fresh tool, lift this up. So this was a dirty honey super that I put in for them to clean. They've done a good job actually. I don't know if you can see that, but they've done a pretty good job of cleaning that up so far. Nice and light comb. They haven't put anything in this one yet, but maybe they have in the middle. Yeah, so there's some nectar and stuff like that in this one, so that's good. So they've cleaned that up quite a lot. Oh, there's definitely weight in it, so they've definitely been putting some honey in it. These are just foundation frames that I put in on the second box to keep them entertained. They haven't touched these yet. Touched this one yet? Oh, so they've touched these ones on the outside. That's good. And they filled these with a bit of nectar. And larvae. There's some lovely larvae here in that area there. Just seeing if I can see any eggs. Yeah, I can see some eggs. So, again, we've done brood. You can see brood. That's heavy. It's over there, so that's food. And I can see that there's lots of space here as well. So the three main things I'm looking for are done. So now what I'm doing is having a nosy to see how they are doing. So some capped brood. Lovely. Looks like all of this is due to be capped like very soon. Lots more eggs. Queen has been on this frame recently. There's more brood as well. Yeah, it's a lovely frame, that. Just because I'm running out of time, because I wasn't expecting to spend so long on that hive there, I meant to do a quick inspection on this one. So I probably won't investigate this top box fully. Probably just do half. Just going to smoke myself, because I've got fresh gloves on. I no longer smell of smoke. So I just need to smoke them up again. Oh. There's another frame that's got a load of brood on. Cat brood, that's beautiful. Done a really good job there. That side, freshly emerged, and eggs are already inside those cells, so that's what you want to see. So this queen is using her space quite well. She's waiting, some would say too patiently, for the bees to draw these foundation frames out, which they are doing. And this is full of eggs, so there's loads of eggs in this freshly drawn out foundation. So they haven't even finished it yet, and she's already laying it up. That's incredible. Yeah, this whole frame is laid up completely. And this is just foundation. They've not started on yet. I've got more foundation and more foundation. Have a look at what these outer frames are like. Might do a bit of a rejig to try and get them to... Oh wow, there's loads of eggs in this as well. Cool. So this is going to be a quick inspection. I'm not going to go into the bottom box again, just because I've seen brood, seen food, and I think they're doing quite well. No, sorry, oh yeah, I'm going to do a full inspection. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, because all this foundation next to each other can tend to get ignored sometimes when the bees have got too much on. I'm just going to put the foundation frames that are untouched in between drawn out comb. It's better to do this in between brood, because bees really hate foundation right up against brood. So they will draw that out first. So what I'll do is I'll plonk you in here. Right, I'm going to take this box off and we'll have a look at the bottom one. It's surprisingly light. So they are in the majority of these frames, apart from these back two here. Back three. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to do a little crick. Speed things up a bit. Remember, whenever you're taking a frame out from a very fully stocked hive, always go for the second one, not the end one. So they're not doing anything with that frame though. They're not happy with me in this box, that's for sure. Now I did take a lot of the younger bees out of this, so the ones that are left are the grumpy ones and drones. So yeah, they're not too happy with me, so I'm just going to give them a quick smoke to tell him who's boss. Just say, chill out. There we go. Right, so that is a lovely frame of brood. Eggs, capped brood, lovely. Have a quick look for the queen. Just because it's a bit higgledy-piggledy, I'm going to shake it off and have a look. I thought I saw the queen then. So I'm just going to do a quick shake. Let's have a quick look. So you can see how, I mean by it's like higgledy-piggledy, it's a bit wavy here and there, and it's a bit dodgy. But I'm just having a quick look, see if there's any queen cells. There aren't any. Some lovely cappings. Small patches, but it's fine. She's got a lot of space, and she did have a reduced number of bees. So all those flying bees that I just smoked away from me, they've gone to the entrance and they've come out and gone, oh, the roof's gone again. So let's smoke them again. So look, freshly emerging bees, or mostly merged, and laid up all in the centre of that. That's brilliant. Yeah, so this queen's awesome. She's a beaut. Right, plonk this in. So look at this one. So this is a full frame of cat brood. Looking great again. Yeah, I'll do one more and then I'll call it quits because I need to crack on. Oops. And I think these guys are doing great. Don't think I need to worry about these ones. Last frame. Pinky palmless. Let's have a look. And that's another frame of brood as well. It's a bit darker than normal, but it's because it's on an old frame and sometimes they just use the wax around them. But yeah, there's no discoloration of larvae, all segmented, all the cells are the same colour, it looks dry. It's another thing, if your cells are looking wet, that's something to worry about, unless it's honey. If it's honey, then sometimes you get wet cappings, sometimes you get dry cappings, don't have to worry about that. But when it comes to brood cells, you want them to look dry, not squidgy. Look great. Right, I'm happy with that. This colony's doing great. Push this forward. If you want bees to get out of the way, blow on them. I find it helps if you have minty fresh breath after brushing your teeth. For some reason they don't like mint being blown at them. Maybe it's cooler, I don't know. Let's move that out of the way. Right, that's me done at this apiary. I need to go to the other. Space these out evenly. You can see the difference when you space them out evenly. You can see how much thicker the comb sticks out from the frame. That means when you get a knife, you can just lean against the frame, cut it, and you're cutting all the cappings off. It just makes things a lot faster. And the stage I am at the moment, I need speed over quantity of honey. Right. So I don't know if you can see that, but it is peeing it down. Amazing. I don't think I'll be able to do the inspections at this apiary today, which is really annoying. What I'll end up having to do is something midweek, probably after work or something like that. So I'm going to stop this now and we'll continue next time. I'll see you in a minute. Hello everyone. It's a much nicer day today. Behind all those clouds somewhere, there is a sun. I'm sure of it. Like 80% sure there's a sun up there. So it's nice and warm as well. It's about 23 degrees, so it's better than the 15 degrees that was there yesterday. So I'm going to be doing the inspections at my production apiary. I've had an email from Mark McLaughlin from the NBU. I sent him pictures of the colony that I thought was diseased with European foul brood. I didn't think it was European foul brood when I saw it, but I was just making sure. If you see any signs of disease, it takes 2 seconds to send an email to the NBU. And Mark McLaughlin got in touch with me in about, I think it took about half an hour, which is just, it's incredible that someone gets in touch with you that fast. Another set of people that you can contact is your local BBKA group. So mine's Ormskirk and Croston Beekeepers. In your association, you will have hundreds of years worth of knowledge, combined knowledge. So it's always good to get a second opinion from someone with more knowledge than you. If you're a starter beekeeper, it's important to know that they're there as a safety net for you. If they think it's EFB and you think it's EFB, then let the NBU know and they'll come down. But it's always takes 2 seconds to send an email to the NBU. and they'll be absolutely fine with it. It's their job. They get paid to do it by the government, to look at these emails, look at these pictures that you send them and go, nah, that's not AFB, or that's worth an inspection. But they'll be really frank with you, very honest, very open, and you always learn some really interesting stuff from the NBU as well, if they ever come to visit. But now that I don't have to worry about it too much, I've still ordered a European foul brood kit. It's very similar to the old COVID kit, but you don't stick a thing up your nose and in the back of your throat. You scoop out the larvae that looks gross and mix it with a solution. But more on that when it comes. I'll be showing you guys that video, so I'll be recording all of it and I'll be showing you guys it because I don't want to hide anything. If it turns out I do have EFB, I won't be selling any of the nukes I've produced this year. They will be for me only, and I will be going through them with a fine-tooth comb up until winter before I move them anywhere near any of my other colonies. If it turns out not to be FB, then I'll still be very careful, because I'm very careful about disease. I wear multiple suits, as you can see. I have a tub full of soda solution right there with hundreds of beehive tools, so it means that some are always soaking. I wear fresh gloves every apiary that I go visiting. I wipe down the car and my boots and my steering wheel, everything with alcohol wipes at the end of the day. I hate the idea of spreading disease, especially outside my apiary. If it's my apiary and it's my problem, if I spread it elsewhere, then it's not just my problem, and just that thought really scares me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little video for you guys when the kit comes. We'll go through the colony, we'll find the frame, I'll explain what I think has happened to the colony and in more detail, and then we'll do a test and we'll see whether it comes out positive or negative. Fingers crossed this comes out negative. But anyway, today it's a really nice day, 20 odd degrees C. Sun is pretending to come out behind all those clouds, so I'm going to go crack on and do these colonies. Right, I'll see you in a bit. I'd actually forgotten where I was up to at this apiary, and I remember now. So last week we combined this colony. It was queenless because I'd taken the queen out, and they weren't doing the right lot anyway, and I didn't want to propagate that queen. So what I want to do is combine both colonies into one, so you become a nice big strong colony all on its own. The one that is running this is the imported queen, one of the last 3 that I've got. So that's what this one is. So I'm going to open up and see how the combination has gone. So what I'm expecting to see is I'm expecting to lift this lid off. Going to be some bees up here, probably some drones, and then what I want to see is lift this box off, and I'm wanting to see that this paper has a lovely hole in it where the bees have chewed away at it. You ready? Opening it to you so I don't get bees in my face. Oh, I put a cap on it. Right, now I'm going to open it towards you so I don't get bees in my face. You ready? Ooh. Well, that wasn't the escape as I was expecting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through this hive bit by bit. It all seems to be pretty empty, to be honest, but just go through this top box and look for any queen cells that I can. Because the last thing I want to do is have these bees produce their own queen secretly. That will screw up all the hard work that I've done with the imported queen. So, so there's just the remnants of brood really from the last queen. Looked after these guys. Other than that, it's mostly just honey up here. That's good. You can see some brood there. Now there are some queen cells. There are some queen cells, but if you look there, they've been torn down. So they must have started making queen cells when I put the box on top. And then when they realised that they were queen right, because of the imported queen in the bottom box, they tore those queen cells down. So that's good. That's what I want to see. Right. Watch out, you. Ah! You flipper. First sting in 2 days. Ow. Oh. And because I'm really under the trees again, if you can see this, but really come down, I have to use my torch, which I found. Just hiding under a load of bee suits. Right. Put this back. There's no queen cell in this top box, which is good. This top box is now officially a honey super. Just brill. Okay, let's push you all together, like so. Ooh. Let's take you off. So I don't know if you can see this, I'll bring you a bit closer actually. I don't know if you saw, but I only did like a couple of pokes through this, through the crown board to pierce a hole in this newspaper. So I'm going to take this off and you'll see just how much these bees have chewed away at this newspaper in a week. Yeah, that's actually, it's a week in a few days, but look at that. It's virtually all gone. That was really impressive, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this off. Don't need this anymore. This can go in my smoker for now. Well, I can just go in my smoker, to be honest. Ooh. Some extra roughage for the smoker. Put the lid back on. What I tend to do is I go from the bottom box upwards. This is another brood box. Ugh. So I want to move that across here. Now this was a horrible super that I left with the bees to clean up. And that is exactly what they've been doing. You can see, hopefully, that they have started to chop away at some of this old comb that's nasty. And I've taken it down to foundation. And they've started to bring it back. That's impressive. That's one of the dirty frames I can see from the middle frame that they have actually started getting to the stage where they actually want to put stuff in it. Yeah, there's a good example. But look at all that fresh comb there. So you can see the difference between the fresh comb. It's much lighter than over here. And this is full of eggs. It's got some honey in it, but more notably it's got a load of eggs. So it means that the queen has been up here. I actually don't think I need to do anything with this colony. I think they're pretty... Ah, yeah, flipper. Stinging me. Hurts. So... this colony seems to be doing well. They are cleaning up this honey super in the middle. The queen started laying in it. Right. So I'm just going to take this off. I'll have a look at the bottom box, but I can't imagine there being anything too much to worry about. But this colony is now massive because it's got 2 colonies worth of bees in there. They've got lots of space, so they're not even using half these frames down here. So I think they should be okay for now. It's a new queen from this year. So lift up this middle frame. Just get that first. Lift the middle frame up, just have a look at it. Funny if the queen's on here. So this is full of pollen. It's got some brood in it. Yeah, it's doing alright. Seeing if there's any queen cells, there's not. So I think that this colony will be fine, to be honest. They are grumpy today. Why are these guys grumpy? Just calm down a little bit. Because they've already started going into the super, I'm going to actually move this and put it so it's double brewed again, just because it's a bit easier that way. Just move it down here. Well. Ooh. So they're not really using that bottom box as such. What? I think the queen will be in this brood box personally. It's a lovely frame of brood. It's good. Another frame of brood. Another frame of brood. So I think these guys are going to start expanding soon. It's just what you want, really. Ooh, the first 2 weeks of summer, you want them to start building up forces. Then after that, you want them to just go hell for leather in collecting honey. Just need some good days of weather, really. Like, this is probably the nicest day we've had, and it's overcast and gross. So we've got loads of frames of capped brood there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames of capped brood. Stop it, you. Six frames of capped brood. And there's the queen. She's right there. So what I'm actually going to do is to try and encourage her to stay down into these two brood boxes. I'm actually going to put a queen excluder here, and then hopefully they'll fill that super and that brood box with honey, not brood. So I know where the queen is now. She's in here. It's a double brood configuration, so she should be happy. Let's have a look for the best frame that I want to transfer. It's going to have no larvae. Larvae. What I'm doing is I found a frame in the top box that has apivar written on it. I don't want any frames that have apivar on to be filled with honey, because I cannot extract honey from these frames. So this frame here has apivar on the front, on the log there. I used apivar a few years ago and it's polluted these frames, so it means I can't use them again. So the wax and the frame have miticide in them, so I do not want to mix them together. So instead, what I'm going to do is put another frame in here, and this box will turn into a honey super, hopefully. What I need to do is put a queen excluder on there now, so it means that it keeps the queen down. So there we go. This goes on. Boop, boop. Queen excluder. Hang on. Yeah, that's right. It's honey super, which the queen can't get into. And then, this bad boy. So any brood that's left in this top box will emerge, and because the queen can't get up here, the bees will just fill it full of honey instead. So what I'm going to do is, because these boxes are quite large for the frames, I'm just equally spacing these out, so it means that the frames will be used for honey, will then be made a bit fatter, so it's easier for me to go at them with a blade when it comes to extraction. I'm going to put a lid on. So yeah, I'm happy with this colony now. This colony is doing great. This is where I wanted it to be last month, but it's fine. So hopefully I'll get at least 2 supers out of this colony, and then that queen will have earned how much she cost. Oh, right, next one. As an aside, these gloves that I've bought are really thin. They just keep tearing. Like, I pulled a sting out before. It ripped a bit of the glove off, so yeah. Right, that should be a bit easier than usual. It's just one colony. That one there still has a virgin queen running around it, I'm guessing. I don't need to inspect them for another week. So just this one for now. This is the last of the imported queens, this apiary. She was doing okay. I gave him another super just to start cleaning, which they've done absolutely nothing with from the looks of it. It's still damp. So what I might have to do is I might do the old trick of sticking it between the 2 brood boxes. We'll see. Oh, that's gone to the bottom box. So they have actually filled this second brood box now. So if the bottom one's full, then it means that they have expanded. Not a huge amount, but they have. Yeah, so we've got... Oh. It's starting to rain. Perfect. Right. Let's speed this up a bit. As long as it's not peeing it down huge amounts, should be okay. I won't say anything for a few minutes while you guys get your Macintoshes. Oh. That's here. So remember, brood, food, space. So I've just seen what looks like a queen cell there. So I'm just going to see if I can see the queen. Remember the bright green dot? I'll see the queen, so I'm going to shake it off. I'll just have an investigation of this. So this is... That's just a queen cup, that's fine. There's nothing to worry about. Got brood. Got food here along the edges. So we're doing okay. That rain's coming down faster. Why does it always rain? Why can't we just have nice days in the UK? It's always peeing it down. This is just pollen with a little bit of capped brood. The queen's probably in the upper brood box for now, just because it's probably slightly warmer. We've got eggs here, so the queen's still present. Yeah, so the queen's still present. I've not seen any queen cells yet. I'm halfway through this box. I wasn't going to expect them to wanting to swarm. Yeah, this is full of eggs as well, fresh eggs. Yeah, I'm just going to close this one up. I don't think that these guys are going to swarm. They've got loads of space, so they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 frames there that they're not using. So if the queen really wanted to, she could come down here and lay, but she's probably got enough space upstairs. Ooh, that rain's coming down faster. And it's starting to rain, so I'm a bit rushed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the second box on top. This is where the queen probably is. But I'm not going to disturb it. I think she's probably doing fine. So I've seen brood. I've seen lots of food. So I can see honey here. And they've got lots of space. They've got this honey super here. My guess is that they need another set of brood to emerge before they'll go into that super. So that's fine. Don't have to worry about them. Don't have to worry about that because there's a virgin queen running around. Right, on to the next ones, and hopefully it won't turn into a monsoon. So, this one had a virgin queen last time that I found randomly. So I'm not going to touch these guys for 2 weeks. These guys were doing amazing this last week. Can you see this? There you go, sorted that better. So these guys were doing amazing last week. Oh, I'll just check space. I gave them a new super, so I'd be surprised if they've absolutely filled it. If they have started to fill it, then I will give them another super. Because this queen is awesome. Wow, they have actually started to fill up that super with bees. Let's lift it up. Now it is another brood box, so they're probably busy just cleaning it right now. We'll have a look at the middle frame. Yeah, they've cleaned it up enough that the queen has laid. It's full of brood in the middle there, and there's honey around the edges. That is awesome. God, this queen is awesome. So what I'm going to do is, just looking at it now, they've got 2, 3, 4. They've got about 5 seams left that they haven't filled yet, so there's no rush to do that yet. I'm just going to close this up because I don't want the rain to affect them. So I saw at that time then, I saw brood, food, and space. That's the most important things to see, as long as you see eggs as well. That's the most important brood to see, because that means that there's a queen present. All right, I'm going to blitz through this. So these guys weren't doing particularly anything at all last time I came to see them. They were just stuck in the middle and not moving about much. So I left them to try and expand them sideways a bit. If they're looking like they are expanded, which they haven't, I can see the floor from up here. So they're still just sticking in this area here for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. I don't particularly want to break them up, but I think I might. I'll do what I did with some supers the other day. So they're particularly... So I think they've come out by a couple of seams, but not by a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Any frames that they're not using, I'm going to separate these here. That's a lovely frame of brood. So the queen is producing workers. So that is an option, is that she is drone laying, and that's why they're not expanding, but she is producing workers. So what I want to do is, any frames that they aren't using, I'm just going to take them out and put them in the middle of frames that they are. So that's using that. Put you here, because we want to encourage them outwards. So that's another frame brood. Get rid of you. So the queen is doing work, and there is honey in here, so the bees are working. It's just that they're not doing much. So if you look at the state of this compared to the other ones, so this, I didn't replace this queen. This queen is the original queen. And you look at the other ones that are on 3 brood boxes and 2 supers, it kind of shows the difference of the ability of these queens. So to me, this queen needs replacing, as far as I'm concerned, just because she should be keeping up with that one that was here all along too, and she's not doing. So this queen, once the other queens at my mating apiary have been mated and are running around and stuff like that, I'm probably going to replace this queen with one of them, as long as that AFB test comes back negative. Right, this nuke was only on 1 frame last time I saw it. And I can see bees coming in and out, so it's still alive. I'll see where it's at now. So it's grown by another frame. So this queen was doing well. There was only a single seam of bees last time, and now there's 2 seams, so that's pretty good. She's doing well. I'm not expecting anything of this queen at all. She was just to save a virgin. There she is, running around right there. I just wanted to save the virgin queen, just to see what could happen. And she went out, got mated, with only a few bees in her box, and she's doing alright. She's heading up a small colony. What I might do at some point soon is I might give her some more brood from one of my other colonies. But for now, she's doing great. I'm not going to rush her into anything. Just leave it to it. Right, so this is one beast. Hang on, let me just deal with this. These brambles are trying to invade the hives. Blade on this is blunt as old Tom, but it still can get through some brambles, so that's good. Right, so what I'm expecting from this one is honey. If they filled up all the boxes as I go through them, I'll give them another box. Last time there was one box that they were just cleaning up, so to it. It's been dreadful weather since, so I'd be amazed if they filled up another super. So that's full of honey, so that's good. I can't quite remember which one it is that was dirty, but I'll find out as I go through because you'll be able to tell the difference. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, thank God I'm producing some honey. Oh, that rain's coming down there. So this looks like it was dirty recently, but they've done a good job of cleaning that up and started storing a lot of honey in. I don't think that's the dirty one. I think the dirty one is the middle brood box, but we'll see. So we've got plenty of food. They're not filling both of those boxes yet, so they've got a bit of space. I might give them another super anyway. This looks like it's been on for a while. Yeah, so this was the dirty box that I gave them. Oh, they do not like rain coming into the brood area. They are getting a bit antsy, so let's give them a bit of a smoke. So apologise. Sorry, girls. I know. Just seeing how you're doing. I'll leave you to it soon, okay? I'll try and be as quick as I can. So they haven't actually, from the looks of it, started making some drones in there, from what I can see. They're still cleaning it up. You can see the difference though, where they've taken it back to foundation, started building it up again, and they're still knocking it down over here. So they're still cleaning these frames. They've actually cleaned it up enough that they've got some honey being stored in that one, so that's good. They've completely cleaned that frame, look at that. You can see the difference there. Nice and light. And it has larvae in it. And eggs. So that's the brood tick. Lots of food, tick. I don't know about space though. This looks like, yeah, so this is a full frame of worker capped brood, and this is full of larvae. And the next one's full of capped brood as well. So I think this queen is just laying and laying and laying. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to, oh, that one coming right in the fingertip. Ouchie. Leave it alone. It's because I'm in a bit of a rush because I don't want everyone to get wet and annoyed. So it's in brood, it's in food, it's in that there is a bit of space, but I am going to give them another brood box just to give them a bit more space. Or a super. I'll give them a super instead. Oh, it's honey season, so these guys need to start producing me some honey. Oh God, that one's heavy. I think there's some honey in that already. Jump. Okay, so I've just put the lid on for now while I get honey super. Back in a sec. So for some reason the video keeps stopping on my phone, which is really annoying me. I think it's because it's raining, and I think maybe the raindrop touched the stop button. Anyway, what I've done here is I've put a new super on. They're doing really well. Really healthy brood. It's absolutely jam-packed with cat brood going up. So I've put another really minging box on. It's all soaking wet, even though it's had a dry roof on. And a watertight one at that. So I'm not quite sure why it's so wet, but it's soaking wet. So putting it on top, it means that there's a lot of heat generated from this. It'll go up here, it'll dry it out, and then once it's dry, the bees will go up and start cleaning it. It's just annoying that you guys didn't see that. This bloody thing, it's annoying, sorry. So for some reason my phone keeps stopping camera from running, so that's a bit annoying. I found the queen, so I went through this colony. Last week I couldn't find the queen. I've literally just found her now, so I'm just going to mark her. She looks big and healthy and lovely. I'll bring it to you to have a look at in a second. So yeah, that means that this colony is queen right. I've seen the larvae, it's all nice and healthy. I've seen the eggs, seen some capped brood. So yeah, let's see if I can see you now. There you are, lovely. Right, so I'm just going to let her dry a little bit. Put you here for now, Royal Highness, and I'll build up the frames again. So what I found was that she has started to lay here. So I got to hit this stage here, and I thought that there wasn't a queen. I was going to replace her with the queen that's in the nuke there, but then I found her, and I found all the brood on these frames here. So she's happy as Larry, doing her job. Oh. Put this frame on. Now I pretty much just have to leave her to it to make her own little colony. So I can drop her in. There she goes. Bye bye, queen. Right, build this colony back up. So they've got loads of room. This super has only got a few seams of bees, as is this one, and as is the other one. But they are quite heavy with honey, so they're doing a pretty good job filling up honey frames. That's good. Right, what's that? Okay. Right, it's the final two. So last week I gave these guys an extra brood box. I'll be amazed if they've started filling it. They may have some bees up there, but they were dirty brood boxes, so they're probably still cleaning it. And yeah, that's exactly what they're doing in this one. They are cleaning it up. They're in this seam here, the one next to it, so they're cleaning up this frame here. So have a look at the progress. I don't really want to disturb them any more than I need to. But they're doing well. These are new queens, so they are probably laying up a storm downstairs, so the bees are panickedly cleaning these frames up. Come on. There we go. So yeah, they've made some inroads. This part here is a lot cleaner than the rest. Still got some mouldy pollen here. But they're still doing it. It's dry now. Today is not going well for me. Anyway, let's have a look underneath just to make sure that the bees are doing well. Yeah, so those bees are absolutely filling that bottom box. The queen's just laying crazy. So I'm just going to put this lid on. We'll have another look at the other one as well. Don't need any more space for these guys yet. I doubt I'll be able to get a honey crop off these guys. But we'll see. Last one. Yeah, these guys are in the same boat. They're cleaning, that's it. They're not moved up. But there's more seams of bees here cleaning it, so they are trying the best to get it done. Oh, ASAP. So, quick look at the bottom box before I go. Yeah, they're filling that bottom box up. That's good. Right, I think just leave these guys to it. I very much doubt that these guys will do anything now for the rest of the season, sadly. But at least the queen right. At least the colony's building up ready for winter. So, best they can do. Right, I think that's me done for this week now. Finally. Thankfully. Mixed bag, really. Started to rain again, even though today I thought it was going to be nice and dry. Oh well. If you enjoyed this content, please think about pressing the like button. And if you want to see more, I'd really love it if you press subscribe as well. If not, I hope you have an amazing day. And I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.